Somebody check me. Google it. Synced it. Put that right on the screen. Synced it. 3 syllables. Synced it. Oh, I'm cold with it now. New word. Put it in the Urban Dictionary. I know I told y'all I wanted to do a new segment every episode at the top of the year. I said I wouldn't do it, and I ain't did it every one. But I want to do one today, which is the new segment is called "Get It Off Your Chest." And I got something I want to get off my chest. Black churches, bro. Black churches. We come on, man. We got to, cause I'm at Smashing Company. If you know, Willie is the proprietor of Smashing Company. You know, we all fall under Willie. But Willie is out doing some sound stuff. You know, my brother Jeff, you know, I play with him at a church here in Hattiesburg, and you know, he deals with upper management of the church and stuff. And it's just the stuff that you hear, man. It's heartbreaking, man. It's heartbreaking to me because it's like, dog, why are we not really growing? Why are we not really growing within the church? And when you think about it, it's just the mindset. It's the mindset because we could easily just put our money where our mouth is a lot of the time, but that's what we'll never do. And it seems, and I get it, but a lot of the times what people be asking people to spend in the church is very be large amounts of money at one time. Now, and I'm not even speaking as far as like paying musicians and that. Let's take that and move that to the side. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not speaking about like paying musicians. I'm speaking about investing in the stuff that make your church one of them ones. Like a TD Jakes, John Gray Church, or Joel Osteen Church, or William McDowell Church in Orlando, or West Angeles, or what's the other church out there? City of, I forget the name, but with the Cold Man at who else? Or New Birth in Atlanta, or E Do It Church, or like these people churches. Like they invest, not saying all these churches got the best of what they should invest in, but like what's gonna make your church grow? If you got great preaching, if your music ministry is well put together and well cared for, and it's very they got everything they need to thrive. And then your streaming ministry. In today's time, like your streaming ministry it needs to be like the media ministry in general. Let's say media. It just needs to be ran right. What I mean by that is just like hire people. If you trying to do good streaming, hire people that know about cameras and know about streaming softwares and production. Hire people that know about production. Like that's huge. Hire people that know about production. And get him more than $200-300 a Sunday. It could be one person that heads all of this. And then just make sure that they're able to get people that they can either teach, that's willing to learn and actually want to learn, or like they can bring in somebody that they can pay. You know, it's just, and it's not one church I'm speaking about. So it don't need to be, you don't need to see this and say, well, he talking about us. No, I'm talking about black churches in general, man. Because Willie was telling me about a church earlier while we were setting up tonight. He was just saying that, like, he had to literally bring in his stuff to show them that, like, what they were asking for. What they were asking for, they didn't want to pay for, but to convince them to go buy it, he had to bring in his stuff. He's like, bro, just trust me. I'm not trying to mess over you. Now, the bad thing is in the black community, we will mess over each other. That's just the honest to God truth. We will mess over each other, guys. we will mess over each other. But don't lose trust over one or two mess ups. Like, just trust this person who's the expert in what they're telling you, and what, especially if you went to that person and asked for their help. Now, if you didn't go to that person and ask for their help, I understand. I get it. I get why you wouldn't trust them. But if you went to this person, asked them for their help, had long conversations, had consultations outside of the conversation, the person has come to the church and done a consultation outside of a phone consultation, it's like, you should trust them. And then, like, because your church is only going to look as good as those people make the church look. Your church is only going to sound as good as that person make that church sound. Like, you can have a banging music ministry, but if I can't make it out, it don't matter. It's dead in the water. And in so many ways, like, I know it's absorbing the amount of money that people are asking the ministries to spend on the front end, but it's so many ways to make the money back on the back end. Like, what I'm doing now, if I had a built-in following of 5,000 people, let's look at this now. A nice sized church probably got a built-in following of 3,000 to 5,000 people. That's here in Hattiesburg or here in Mississippi. Let's say that here in Mississippi, you got 3,000 to 5,000 people. What I'm doing now, you should be doing. You should be taking your sermon, clip it out, put it as a podcast. Once you see you're averaging 1,000 downloads, 2,000 downloads, maybe 3,000 downloads. So let's say you get the max of 5,000 downloads. You're averaging 5,000 downloads a episode, which would be your sermon. Now you can reach out for ads and sponsorship dollars. So now that's a way to make revenue on the back end that could help pay for stuff that you pay for on the front end. Or it can maneuver stuff and pay for a production manager or a production assistant or something. So you're doing that. And now they got it now where you can put the video podcast on Spotify. You can take your actual chopped up video that you did from Sunday and put it on Spotify. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? So I just spoke about the audio side of the downloads. Let's say you putting it on YouTube as well, and you averaging 5,000, 10,000 views, and then you end up getting 50,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers. That's revenue. It's revenue. What I'm doing with my channel now, where I'm diversifying the channel, is so many different avenues that you can go look at stuff on the channel. Y'all should be doing the same thing. Make a playlist of nothing but praise and worship clips, or make a separate channel. Same name, but it's attached to the regular channel. Same name, and it's just called Praise and Worship Clips. Another channel or that's attached to that page it goes into just sermon clips. And then, or just the sermon. And then you can do another page which is just sermon clips. It's so many avenues to get to it, to pay for what you are expecting and what you envision. But then again, some of y'all don't even envision the big level of stuff because you haven't seen the big level of stuff. You haven't seen grand stages, or you haven't been behind the scenes of a grand stage. You probably went to a concert and just seen it from the outskirts and then realized that it can be accomplished. You can do it. Then say you invest a lot of money. I'll skip some. Let's go back. So let's say you invest, I don't want to say absorbing amount of money, but let's say you invest a good chunk of change into your production at your church, which you got LED walls, you got projectors and stuff that project 4K, and that's not doing 720 or 1080. It's actually doing 4K. You got great sound. Your church is record ready. It can record anytime. You got the right lights and stuff to set the vibe, set the atmosphere of the church. Say you put money in that. Now you can rent this venue out. You can rent it out. You can rent it to people and make the money back. You can let people host live recordings there. Like, it's so many ways, man. It's so many ways. And 9 times out of 10, if that person is hosting a live recording there, they're going to bring their own sound engineers or whatever, so they don't have to, long as you got everything ran right or whatever, like, you don't have to, it's just they rent the space. Like, we in Hattiesburg, and let's just speak in Hattiesburg, it's so many places that want to probably host quartet events in like a nice size venue, a nice size church. The church that I play would be great for that. It would be great to host a quartet event in, because it's a nice size stage, nice size room. You just don't see it around here. You don't see it around here, and it's confusing to me. And it just really is heavy on me, because it's like, man, we always talk about what we want to do, what we want to strive to, what we want to get to, but you don't see any of that type of work being done. Because it's work being done. I don't want to say like work ain't being done, but you don't see that type of work being done to help the production ministry, you know? Like, man, if your church has got a good music ministry, do some records. Put the records out. Try to make when we talk about TD Jakes, people talk about TD Jakes and how he get all this money, how he do all this. Well, TD Jakes is he in every avenue you can expect him to be in to make money for his church. Like, TD Jakes don't need no money from that church with the stuff that he do for himself outside of that church. But he got his church in all those avenues, records, probably renting the facility, whatever, man. I don't know, my phone dead. I'm sure I could look up, he probably got some on there for you to go listen to outside of just the regular Facebook page. I'm sure his Facebook page is popping, his YouTube page is popping. It's so many ways, man. It's just so many ways nowadays that, especially if you have because what I'm doing, I'm starting from the ground up. You see a lot of celebrities and stuff starting podcasts now. Like, this where I hate to do this, but I'm comparing celebrities to like a church. Celebrities who start podcasts got a leg up, because if you're a celebrity, that means you already have a following behind you. So when you put something out, you should, if your fans mess with you, you should get 10,000 views. You should get 50,000 views. You should get 100,000 views, because you already have a built-in fan base. So I'm comparing that to the church. The church who put stuff out, if you should average at least 1,000 views, 1,000 downloads. If you're a nice sized church, I'm not saying if you a storefront church or a smaller church, but you're a nice sized church, you should average that. And then if your stuff is good, which is your music ministry, your word, all your production, all this stuff is good, you're gonna get it. Because it's just the look of it is gonna attract people. Like a small church who used to do big numbers to me, New Zion. I think that's their name. They used to be in Indianapolis, but all the co-musicians were playing there, which was you would see Lacey there. You would see what's my guy that play Matthew? He play keys. You would see all these crazy good musicians going there. But the production aspect of everything was so good. Like, the camera was clear. It wasn't the best camera, but it was clear. The audio was great, and the music ministry was great. And his word was good. So people were flocking to that channel. I'm sure that channel was making money. Unless it was getting copyright strikes. Now, that's different if they getting copyright strikes. They ain't making no money because they got to split it, or they either got to split it or all the money go to that person. But other than that, I'm sure, because that page was getting flooded. Not only was the Facebook page getting flooded, that doggone YouTube page is getting flooded. So that's my get it off my chest for the moment. We have to look at the avenues outside of what we normally look at, which is tithes and offering. We have to. If you build that stuff up, the stuff outside of that up enough, you ain't even worried about tithing and offering. You're not stressing about that. Not saying you shouldn't cut the Bible because it's an argument. It's arguments about it, but the Bible says you should tithe and offer. But if you build everything else up outside of it enough, you ain't stressing about it. You want people to do it, and you still preach people to do it, but hey, we got income over here. And then if people tithing like they was at the beginning, then you got this income. So now it's easier to pay people. It's easier to pay your staff that's working in your office. Easier to get them a bump. It's easier to give your musicians a bump, your production manager a bump, whoever, your production assistant a bump. You may not want to start paying the actual praise team member. Hey, we can give y'all a little love offering. It ain't a lot, but we give y'all a love offering every Sunday. Now they incent more to come. It's just so many ways, man. We gotta think outside of just tithes and offering. We have to, and it's even worse because we have the ability. We have no reason not to think about it now. We have absolutely not one reason to think about it. That's my get off my chest moment. If I'm wrong, let me know I'm wrong. I would gladly love to talk to somebody and they just explain to me why I'm wrong. Explain to me why I'm wrong. And most of the time when I talk to people in like upper management positions at church, they can't never tell me why I'm wrong. They just like can argue me, but they can't. Well, you wrong because of blah, blah, blah. A lot of times in most debates that I have, like people they don't say I'm wrong. And I ain't trying to say it like I know everything, because I don't. It's so much shit that I don't know in life. So much stuff that I don't know. It's so much stuff that I don't know about music, business, blah, blah, blah. But my viewpoint on a lot of stuff is just I'm looking at it from like a logical, common sense way. And if it ain't making sense, it don't make sense. Like, but anyway, that's another thing. Because I could be wrong about a lot of stuff. I'll be honest with you. I ain't the smartest tool in the shed, but I ain't the dullest tool in the shed either. Oh, Shabbat. I'm far from dull, but I got a little sharp on me now. I cut you every now and then. Shot. But I do, tell me if I'm wrong and why I'm wrong. Don't just tell me I'm wrong. Say you're wrong because of such, and such. You can't do this. You can't monetize this. You can't do that. If you explain that to me, then I understand. But from my point of view, it's too many avenues, man. It's too many avenues. What time is it? Oh, I'm making good time.